One of the most underrated matchups in the NBA is Damian Lillard versus Dillon Brooks. From Lillard telling Brooks that Hulu doesn't just have live sports, to Brooks trash talking by saying, "This matchup is a must-see." In the first matchup, Lillard only shot 6 for 21 from the field and 1 for 7 from the rim. But in the second matchup, he was creating scoring opportunities at will despite the fact that Dillon Brooks called out the Blazers' play. So how was Lillard able to figure out Brooks and the Grizzlies' defense? The Grizzlies' defense is known for their active hands, which they put to use early on. In the pick and roll, Brooks fights over the screen and then disrupts the pass to Nance, in which he loses it. When Brooks is capable of fighting over the initial screen and the big man has active hands, this made it difficult for Lillard to set other teammates up. Brooks' competitiveness and energy allows him to fight over screen to make life difficult for Lillard. Here he does an excellent job fighting over Nurkic's screen, and with Tillman shading Lillard, this gives Brooks time to recover back. Even though he misses the ball and falls, he does a good job getting back up and contesting the shot. Same thing here, he takes the initial impact of Nance's screen, but does a great job continuing to pursue him. With nowhere to go, Lillard is forced to step back into a tough jumper and Brooks contests it well. One of Brooks' goals was to force Lillard into a group of help defenders and not let him pull up for threes. Covington sets the initial pick and Brooks does a great job fighting over again. Now even though it looks like Lillard's beaten Brooks, notice that he doesn't pursue him anymore because Lillard's forced into 2 defenders and forces a tough layup. When Lillard was off ball, Brooks played a denial defense in which he wanted Dame to go into the paint and let his help defenders do the rest. The Blazers tried setting up a back cut for him, but you can see Melton and Kyle Anderson collapse down and force another Blazer to make the shot. And Brooks basically did this the whole night, which prevented Lillard from getting any good looks at threes or easy drives to the basket. Even though the Blazers made the Grizzlies pay with a couple of Simon's threes, this is what the Grizzlies wanted, to force anyone but Lillard to beat them on every offensive possession. The Blazers tried setting up a Lillard cut by using Covington as a screener, but Brooks' physicality helps him stay attached, and Adams uses his length to disrupt the pass and force another turnover. But his struggles weren't all because of Brooks' good defense. The Blazers' poor spacing also blocked any Lillard driving lanes to the basket. On this play, Brooks does a good job fighting over, but with Nance cutting into the lane on Dame's drive, he really has no choice but to dump it to Nurkic. And here, the Blazers set up a nice play for Lillard. There's no one in the paint, but he's in no man's land here, which allows Brooks to deflect Covington's pass and turn into a Covington forced 3. Down the stretch, the Blazers started using a double screen to make Brooks' life difficult, which allowed Dame to get into the paint, but he missed 2 easy layups which summed up his night. However, more importantly, this gave something the Blazers could use for their next matchup, which helped Lillard get better shots. In the second matchup, Lillard used a double screen to his left to get some good shots off. This was really helpful for multiple reasons. The Grizzlies with Adams want to play relatively more drop coverage, which means Brooks needs to fight through 2 screens to even recover to Lillard. And Dame prefers going to his left, which helped him get comfortable early on in this game. One of Brooks' biggest weaknesses is his tendency to become over-aggressive, which has led to him committing at least 3.5 fouls a game for the last 3 years, which is amongst the top 3. With a need to recover faster, now that Lillard has some rhythm, he gets over-aggressive here and fouls Dame on a 3-point attempt. Next play down, the dribble handoff flows into a double screen, and Brooks fouls Lillard on another 3-point attempt. But the best adjustment Lillard made was timing when to make his move. For example, here he gets the switch with Jaren Jackson, and knows how he waits for Adams to clear the paint and then finishes it with a nice reverse layup. With Brooks out of the game, Melton was assigned to Lillard, and he again waits for Adams to clear the paint before attacking the basket and gets fouled. Now in the first game, I mentioned how Brooks played a denial defense on Lillard to funnel him into the paint. The Blazers set this play up much better. Lillard's in the middle of the court with the rest of his teammates spread out. Once Nance gets the ball, notice how Lillard goes right when Melton, the low man, taps his foot out and he scores. The other part I liked is how Nance threw it like a lob so that Lillard can catch the ball without going down, which makes him get the shot up faster. They set up this play with something similar here. The floor is spread out with Nurkic out on top, and Lillard fakes middle before going around, and he again passes the ball in the air so he doesn't have to go down and he gets fouled. Now this is a great adjustment from the first game. Here Lillard gets separation on Brooks, but he's going away from the basket instead of towards it. By going around the big man, he can use Nurkic as a natural pick, and this allows him to get separation and a much easier shot. And with the amount of pressure he was able to put on the defense, this put the help defenders in a tough position because of the 3-second rule, which helped create multiple 3-second violations and gave Lillard more trips to the free throw line. Which leads us to the fourth quarter. At the free throw line, Brooks hears Lillard talking and calls out the play, angle, angle. Now angle in the most simplest terms is a pick and roll half court set with shooters on the opposite slot and in both corners. And this is run to put pressure on help defenders, and here's an example of the Jazz doing it. Now from here, it doesn't look like the set, but after Powell sets the screen, he and Covington float to their positions and Little is in the short corner, which is similar to the angle alignment. Now to the play itself, Nance comes to set the screen and Brooks thinks Lillard's going left, but he shakes him with a quick crossover to the right. Tillman comes to help, which allows Covington to cut and he gets an easy layup. A couple possessions down, Lillard calls out, but it's a very similar setup to the angle action, and he drives by Brooks and gets all the way to the rim. Which leads us to the final 2 minutes of the game. The Blazers give Lillard a double screen, and he's able to turn the corner, look off Nurkic who's cutting, and place a perfect pass to Powell for an open 3. And one thing that you might have noticed is that 2 guards were screening instead of Nurkic who's in the corner. Now why did they make this adjustment? Well, it's because they don't want Nurkic being a playmaker. The Blazers had set up a play to allow Lillard to go backdoor, but Nurkic threw a bad pass even though Lillard was open. By putting guards as screeners, this allows Lillard to keep the ball in his hands and have him make the play. And so in the final dagger, Lillard has Desmond Bane and blows by him, looks off Little and finds Powell for the open jumper to win the game. So I hope you guys got a better understanding of what was going on in this matchup. Small adjustments go a long way towards helping someone with a talent like Lillard to get what he wants, even against a good defensive team like the Grizzlies with no CJ McCollum. If you guys enjoyed the longer video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.